Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming into another video. So it's been a little while since we had a Ben Simmons conversation, but I've been listening to segments with Chris Broussard and various guys, and they're talking about Ben Simmons, and I'm just trying to figure out, why don't people see this as a mental health issue? Why is this not as clear as day as it is to me? You've got a basketball player who's arguably one of the top 10 basketball players when he's right in the entire league. And he's afraid to shoot the ball. Keyword, afraid. Mental health issue. That right there tells you his mental space ain't where it needs to be, because there's something on the basketball floor that he gets paid to do that he's afraid to do. That tells you all you need to know. Anything after that, it's like, okay, well, everything else is a byproduct of that same brain doing whatever it does. Him not taking his money to staying on this point about how the coach didn't speak highly of him as he would like to after the end of that struggle game. That was a trauma he had experienced. That head that's afraid to shoot went through a very serious trauma in that playoff game. Mental health. I guess it's because I'm a mental health guy. I got my own problems. I get offended when I hear people who don't have mental health issues try to place a certain responsibility on the mental health case to consider the feelings of the other parties involved who are not a mental health case. Ain't nobody got no mental health problems in the Philadelphia organization as it pertains to why they should be going back and forth with this kid who clearly has problems in his head. They shouldn't be doing this. That's always been my point of view. Now, the strategy itself to do this has worked thus far because they're the ones paying him. But what he's saying is, in my head, I can't go back out there. And I don't think enough people are respecting that. They're looking at it as, you are doing something to us. That's because you all are selfish and don't realize this man's going through a mental health situation. Now, if he were to go and hurt himself over this, then everybody's saying, oh, Philadelphia. I'm already doing that now. He don't have to hurt himself. He don't have to get to a point where he's acting any more drastic for me to realize this is a drastic situation. The man's going through it. And the organization that pays him is making it worse. That's it. That's what it's always been. The media doesn't look at it that way for whatever reason. That's fine. They have their own way of looking at things. Everybody's their own person. But I'm telling you, as a person with mental health issues, he definitely has them. He has them bad. And he went through a very traumatic, self-conscious circumstance that he got ridiculed for. Obviously, he was dealing with the past ridicule of other situations as it pertains to why he refuses to shoot. Chances are something happened where he missed a big shot. At some point in time in his development as a person, as a child, as a player, he probably missed a big shot, and it messed him up. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably trauma that caused this. Who knows? You can't get into the mental space of a person, but the point is, you got to recognize when something's awry. When something is awry in a person's functioning. Him refusing to shoot is a telltale sign of something awry in his functioning. And it's highly irresponsible for people who are paid to use their voice not to acknowledge that point when speaking to the American public. And so that's where I'm at with it. I think that's at a deliberate point. I think a lot of it has to do with the struggles behind the scenes based on who he's associated with in clutch. I think a lot of that has to do with how he's being treated right now. I'm sure if you scratch and sniff somewhere around there, you'll find some struggle, some power struggle there. And I just feel like there needs to be more attention paid on this particular part of this conversation. No one in their right mind is going to do the things that Ben Simmons has been doing for the last year and a half as it pertains to how he's handled his professionalism, how he's handled the art of basketball and not shooting the ball, knowing full well that he needs to be a threat. See, this is the thing. If we were talking about somebody who wasn't gifted in the art of basketball, I would say, well, he's just an idiot. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. He needs to shoot. This guy is gifted in the art of basketball. And most importantly, the word is art. Anytime a guy is an artist, and I've said this about artists because I am one as well. Anytime a guy's an artist, there's a good chance they're going to have some issues that non-artistic people are not going to have. Their minds are more complicated, and most importantly, their imaginations are much more vivid. So they're going to have issues with things that maybe your regular guy or the numbers guy isn't going to have, okay? An artist. Ben Simmons is an artist with the basketball, man. He really is. he passes the rock like Magic Johnson when he was really in his bag. So you got to understand. You got to understand this. Whatever he's dealing with in his head, he's displaying it through his behavior. And he doesn't necessarily need to be harped upon in terms of him not doing what you want him to do, because all that's going to do is reinforce more of the same stresses that put him in this space. Now, maybe he doesn't recognize this in himself. Maybe he does. I ain't never had a conversation with the man. I can't speak to his mental space at all. But what I'm telling you is, I know the signs. I've been around enough mental health cases in my life, and I've been one my whole life. I know the signs. That is the sign of awry behavior, a behavior gone awry. Something's off. He's not functioning properly to help himself and help his team, and his finances are bleeding because of it. That's what's happening. Trust me, if anybody relates to that, it's BDF 44. Literally, I'm living through it. So understand this, man. I get it as it pertains to Ben Simmons. Now, does he need to do some things differently? Yes. He needs to be actively working on whatever he needs to work on to get himself in a mental space to be a professional for the Philadelphia 76ers. So he can play his value up and get traded. Now, there's a chance he could get traded without doing so, but I think the holdup on the trade is the fact that no one's seen him in over 8 months. So that's incumbent upon him over these last 8 months and his team over the last 8 months to put him in a mental space to get the help he needs so he can straighten things out, prioritize properly, and do what he needs to do to move on from Philadelphia. Doing what he's doing right now is not going to make it so that he moves on from Philadelphia, and that's why I look at it as no different as him not shooting the ball, despite knowing that shooting the ball will help him even if he misses in certain cases. You know, this is a functionality issue. This is I can see what I should be doing, but I'm not doing it because of my mental health issue. I know this thing. I know this. I'm not looking for any experts to tell me about this kind of stuff. I live it. So know this. Know this. Ben Simmons, anywhere he goes, if he hasn't addressed these issues, he's going to have the same problems. That's not just a concern. That's a pattern that we've been watching. You know what I'm saying? This is a continued pattern. So unless he's getting that help, whoever requires him, going to have to deal with this. You have to deal with it. It just is what it is. So, and look, he's a proud dude. He's a proud dude. We can see that in his actions as well. So I'd imagine if he goes to the next destination, he's going to provide them the same rope. If you don't make him happy, he's going to look to move on or maybe even do this again. Don't think the fan base is going to be able to hold him accountable for his flaws because he's not going to respond well to that. He's already shown us that. And that is why his value, in my opinion, if people are assessing all of this properly, his value as a basketball player should not get you no Dame Lillard, should not get you a great package. In fact, it shouldn't get you anything at all. You should be trying to pay others to take him from you if they're viewing this properly. Truly. And I've been saying that all summer. That's why I think that John Wall was the best trade for him. Now, the reality is, I don't think the league is viewing this properly. So Daryl Morey's going to be able to get something for him, and that's cool. Daryl Morey knows he's dealing with a bunch of people who ain't going to look at it like that. So as long as you can keep the price high, aim for the stars, you know, you might get what you need. But at the same time, it's like, aim for the moon, you might get the stars. But you know what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, you have got to understand that Ben Simmons is a salary dump. He's a salary dump. And the mental health issues or what I perceive as his mental health issues are why this needs to be handled with more care by the organization, in my opinion. It needs to be. And it doesn't seem like they have the intentions or the heart to do so. And it seems like the media is edging them on. Yeah, keep being this way. Keep doing this. And I'm just saying, God forbid, if Ben were to hurt himself, now you would see all of the type of scrutiny toward the Philadelphia organization that I've been saying the whole time, because they haven't handled this kid with the proper type of care that you would want them to handle their employees if the employee was going through a mental state that wasn't great. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not what we need from you, Philly, at all. It's not. And I tell you, if I'm, say, Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid and I start to go through something, like really go through something, I'm going to wonder if I'm going to be treated in some type of way. Because they ain't really handling this with Ben Simmons with that type of care, you know? And that's something that I don't think anybody's thinking about. It seems like everybody in Philadelphia is on the same page, though. It seems like Joel likes what's going on in the front office. Seems like the players seem to be cool. Everybody's cool. So I just kind of look at them all as the same entity. Like, y'all all not handling this properly, And I just think that a lot of times people don't think about caring about other people. They think about what they want. I want what I want. I know what I paid for. It seems like Philadelphia organization is saying it's a power struggle. He's trying to take money from us. I know we paid him. If he didn't want to do this, he shouldn't have signed a contract. Again, if you're talking about somebody in their right mind, you wouldn't have these issues. He would have signed a contract. He'd be playing right now. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't stress it enough. The behavior in and of itself tells you where he's at. So, either you're going to handle it with care and caution, or you're going to see this play out one way or another. And I hope it all ends well. I don't want nothing bad to happen at all. I want the guy to get back on the court and continue being a great player. But I'm telling you, man, the signs are bad, and this is not getting better. That's the point. We sitting here 7 months down the road still having the same conversation about this guy. He's still not playing. He's still holding out. He's still in his same mindset. Philadelphia 76ers organization is still asking for too much. You know what I mean? They're still basically jabbing at him, more or less, through the media. Daryl Morey, that's how I took it. I did. You telling the people, oh, Joel's playing better now, so instead of asking for the moon, we're only going to ask for a top 40 player that absolutely fits our team. In other words, the price is still ridiculously high, and none of you guys are going to want to pay it. So guess what, Ben? You're still sitting there. No more money for you. Like, that's something that if I'm in a mental state that ain't so good, I'm sitting here getting worse because of that. Getting worse. And you got me away from the game I love to play. A game where I have unfinished business because I ain't looked so good last time I saw all this stuff. Last time you saw me, all of this stuff lends itself to further deterioration of his mental space, if indeed that is the case. I advocate for that. So if it's not the case, my intention means well. But I will say this. If it's not the case, I would be very, very, very surprised if that's not the case. Because the behavior is not rational. And where there's irrational behavior, there's something wrong. Period. Whether it be mental health, substance abuse, various things. So whatever it is that he needs to get himself in a space where he's ready to play ball again. And I don't think all of that is helping. So that's what I gotta say, man. I wish we understood how much damage we could do with our voices. And I think a lot of them do, and I don't think they care. But yeah, that's what I want to say. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.